everybody.
Welcome back to Mile Higher Podcast, episode 35.
Yes, welcome back.
Yes.
We're back from our hiatus of a week.
Yeah, and we're a day late on uploading this one, too.
Yeah.
It's been a struggle lately, people. The struggle is real.
There's never been a more real quote ever said, I'm pretty sure. Like, seriously. I mean, we've been, not only, I've been busy, you've been ill, and so it's been very, very
it's
just crazy. So sorry for the week late and a half podcast, but we're doing it. We're fucking doing it today because
I
we were
almost
talking.
didn't.
Yeah.
I woke up today. I was like, nope, not gonna happen. Was feeling really bad. But
Yeah, I
just
started
was
getting those vibes, and I was like, we've got to do the podcast.
I was like,
this
Josh
week
is gonna freak out if I can't.
for my own sake and for you guys, because today we are talking about the magical, most powerful plant possibly in the entire world, the hemp or cannabis plant. And we are going to probably show a lot of you guys a lot of things you've never known about, lies, things you've heard about it that aren't true, especially if you're not familiar with, hemp or cannabis or marijuana. This is going to be a very eye-opening podcast. For sure.
You'll learn a lot. Even if you do think you know a lot, you probably will not know as much as you think you do once you hear
There's
this.
a lot.
It's pretty interesting.
So,
I learned a lot just researching for this. So
yeah. Me too. There's so much that doesn't get talked about, and there's a lot of things that are misconstrued by, society and the media about, hemp and marijuana. And so we are going to bring the truth to you guys today.
Yeah, and for real, the truth, because there is so much more of a conspiracy element to this than you would think, than I thought. It's pretty crazy. You're going to be shook when you hear just the amount of fuckery that goes on with this stuff.
Yeah, it's just throwing, wood on the fire at this point.
For real.
The furnace more like it. So
the furnace.
So we are going to dive deep into that. We're super pumped about it.
Yes.
Obviously, if you didn't know, we live in Colorado where, marijuana and cannabis is legal. So obviously
both medically and recreationally.
Right. So we partake. And, we do it for a lot of different reasons, which we will talk about. A lot of things that you may not think about, especially when it comes to it being a natural medicine. Because at the end of the day, guys, like whether it's something that gets you high or not, this is a magical plant with tons of medicinal benefits. So I think you're going to be, as Kendall said, shooketh. But today we wanted to talk and introduce you guys to a new brand that we are working with.
Yes.
In the CBD hemp world.
Well, let's first.
Right. If you want to give a little bit of the backstory of what happened we were working with Bilegal Meds, Cloud9, as many of you know.
Well, I don't want to get super into things, but basically their company and us did not align.
Did not see eye to eye.
Our values did not align, and we did not see eye to eye, and we felt like we weren't being treated fairly as affiliates.
Absolutely not.
We weren't communicated with. Sketchy things were even said to my manager about me, just weird things. And honestly, the social media of some of the people that work there is really disappointing, and they have
can be embarrassed, borderline
things,
embarrassing, to be honest. Like, just we take pride in ourselves and our business that Kendall and I have built together. And so whenever we work with a brand, we always want to make sure that, we do align, morally, ethically, business minded wise. So this just wasn't a good fit for us. And, there's so many brands out there. So I dug in deep and went through probably 10 plus different CBD brands to find the best partnership, because we obviously are passionate about, CBD and hemp and, all, cannabis all together. So, we wanted to find a great brand that's going to bring you guys the best high quality products, the most potent CBD products that I've seen out there. So very, very good, strong, safe medicine that's available to you. And that's where I landed on a company called Hemp Bombs.
And they are the bomb.
Hemp Bombs is the bomb.
So much better. We are really, really excited about these products because they are just, the quality is unreal.
Yeah.
This is a small company with good values, good people that we really like. And they have hooked you guys up with an awesome discount code. So it's just perfect all around.
Yeah. And that discount code's the exact same, mile higher, 20% off your entire order. And the great thing about these guys, and one of the reasons I picked them too, is that so many of you are out there on other parts of the world. So we wanted to find a partner that can ship to you guys.
Yes,
and
that was a huge reason why too.
And, Bilegal Meds did not do that. So Hemp Bombs does, guys. Australia, France, anywhere in the UK, Europe, Australia, New Zealand, they ship to you guys. So definitely check it out.
Plus, it's a higher concentration of CBD in their products for the price.
Yeah, like for example, we were pushing the Cloud9 syrup quite a bit, which is okay stuff.
Yeah,
and,
we liked it.
Yeah, I mean, it definitely worked.
This stuff.
But what I really like about their stuff, guys, is that it doesn't have melatonin in it, so it doesn't put you to fucking sleep like Cloud9 does. Like, after you drink Cloud9, it's like lights out, bitches. Like, I'm
and
done.
I can't even have melatonin anymore. I've realized that. I didn't even know it had melatonin in it for a while, but I have a thyroid problem, and you're not supposed to have melatonin apparently when you have a thyroid condition, so I couldn't even have it anymore. Yeah,
but the other thing I was going to mention, though, is that the dosage of CBD. So, as we'll talk about today, CBD is a chemical, and obviously this chemical is a healing, is the medicine, essentially. A natural medicine, right. And so they have different potency dosages, essentially. So there's like 100, 300, and then even 1,000 milligram they call relaxation syrup, which is actually very delicious, and I felt great. I mean, you just feel really relaxed.
That's a lot.
The anxiety reduced. I mean, that's the biggest thing. If you have anxiety, I have anxiety.
Anxiety, chronic pain,
inflammation.
It helps with everything. It
sleep,
really does.
Stress, especially.
Yeah.
It's like taking that edge off, except naturally without alcohol.
Yeah. And I don't drink at all. It's replaced it in my life.
Yeah. And their products are animal cruelty free, non-GMO products. It's CO2 extracted CBD from the hemp. So that's one of the cleanest ways you can do it. So really high quality
tested, stuff. Pesticide free and European grown.
Yeah.
Very cool stuff.
So, I mean, guys, definitely go check out Hemp Bombs. They got everything you can possibly want.
Check out their gummies.
The gummies are just straight bomb, and
they're so good.
Take 1 or 2 a day, and they really do help.
Good.
But yeah, and they've got vape juice, which is kind of unique to them, is they have high quality CBD vape juice. So if any of you out there vape, they have really good stuff, and they've got over 10 flavors, I think even more than that, and it works really well. So that's what I use on my my big boy vape over here. And then we've got the pen vape, so they've got the cartridges for those of you that just like the little discrete cartridges. So.
And their flavors are so good. They have like
watermelon,
sugar cookie, watermelon. They have so many
chocolate donut, and
fuck me up.
Definitely good stuff. So yeah, we're super happy to be working with them.
Yes,
the link will be in the description. The code is mile higher for 20% off. So, and after this episode, I think you'll even want some CBD products even more. So all right, so back to our normal spiel here. So first of all, lots going on too on the storefront, the merch front. A lot of you are asking, where can I get one of those Mile Higher t-shirts? Well, guess what, guys? October 1st, milehighermerch.com is launching. And this is what I've literally been working on for the past month. And
dude,
I'm really proud of it. I think it's going to blow some, you guys are going to really like it. There's, I didn't want it to just be another merch store, boring merch store where it's just, not everybody wants to wear a logo or wear a brand. So
right, and because we're not huge logo people.
No,
I'd rather have something cool, like a cool
as I'm wearing a logo.
Other than that, but
such a hypocrite.
I'm not a huge. I don't even think this isn't a logo. This is just some like random shit.
Yeah,
fashion
it's Nova, a Gucci lookalike with good vibes. That's cool.
I would never buy anything Gucci, but yeah.
So no, I mean, it's going to be packed with tons of really sweet designs that I've had designed, and
things that we're coming up with. We're creating them
that fit our theme of our show and both of our YouTube channels, true crime to conspiracies to aliens.
It's really, really cool. Josh worked on it yesterday for like 15 hours straight.
And I'm not even done, guys. I got to put at least another probably 8 hours into this thing to get it ready. So
yeah,
it's a lot of work, but I'm really looking forward to paying off. So awesome. More on that next week for sure. But so we missed a week, and so my subtopics are going to be a little bit like a week or so older, but they're still super interesting to talk about. Okay. The one that I wanted to talk about was the solar observatory that closed down basically just out of nowhere by the FBI. Oh, shit.
Yeah, I was going to say, sorry.
Shit, I'm skipping around.
The Patreon question.
Before we talk about that, I want to thank Rachel G for being a stellar patron. And today's question is from Brittany. And she said, hey, I'm from Canada, and I think it's great that in just over a month we'll be legalizing weed. What are your thoughts? And what are your predictions on how it'll affect society? Should mandatory drug tests become a thing in the workplace? This was a great question that I picked because we're talking about this topic today. So some of this I'll answer later just because we'll go on and on about it. But the one thing that I did want to just talk about is like mandatory drug tests in the workplace. Like, what are your thoughts on that? Do you think that employers should be able to drug test you? Like, what is that? What do you think about that?
Well, I don't know, because there are some drugs that I think you should be able to know if your employee is on them. Like if Bill's acting a little crazy, maybe it's time for a test of something, because like you don't know. So
not mandatory though. Not like everybody's forced to take a drug test. Just when you're suspected of drug use, take one?
Well, because you don't want to like single people out, because then you have to be like, well, you're acting like you're on drugs, so we need to drug test you. So that's like not really fair. So I guess you kind of have to just do everybody, because you don't want to make them like be singled out.
But is it like your employer's responsibility to be worried about whether or not you're taking drugs or not?
No, not in that sense, not to be worried about you, but like,
I mean, I get if your
employer.
performance is like going downhill.
Yeah.
I get it.
Yeah.
So I think
like how good can you do if you're on cocaine all day? Or maybe you could do
some
really good.
Some people could be really fucking good on cocaine. I mean, some people.
Well, there's definitely some drugs that like would,
Yeah, obviously if you're coming in and you're, you just took a huge thing of heroin, you're not going to be able to perform your job duties. Like,
well, yeah,
because that's just the way that is. No, I get that. Like if it's apparent, like super, like you are failing at your job, then, maybe there's a suspected drug use.
But what are they supposed to be doing?
But like, if you're just high,
you've been sucking lately, so we need to drug test you. Like that's not going to fly. People are going to be like, why?
That's true. That's true.
So that's the problem with it is I think you should be able to drug test, but not necessarily for marijuana. Maybe that information should be sealed, whether or not you use marijuana, because I believe it's a medication. They shouldn't be judging you on because I would be fired from every job ever.
It would be hard to ever get a job. I mean, especially ones that
I really need it medically. So it would be like, okay, I could give up the only thing that really does help me, or I could keep my job.
That's
what do you
shitty,
do?
and we shouldn't be putting people in that kind of situation where they have to choose between what keeps them healthy and happy.
Healthy. Sorry, I always have to. I
No,
give you
it's
so
fine.
much shit.
It's
You always
fine.
like mix words. You're so
like
fast.
I just picture people laughing right now.
You just like picturing them laughing.
No, I do. Some people tell me that they laugh when they. Anyway.
Yeah. Well. Yeah, because you make the fucking randomest words. You like mix two things together. You're like a Virgo. You just slam two words together. It happens literally all the time. So
it's like
I love
the universe is like.
It's just you can't get the words fast out enough.
My mind thinks faster than my mouth.
Exactly.
Can speak. That's
exactly.
What the
Your
problem
brain's
is.
going faster than your mouth can.
Can you turn your fucking ding off too?
Oh, I'm sorry. People always get so
nobody
mad.
wants to hear your fucking ding.
I seriously. I have my phone on silent at all times, but my computer keeps like making sounds. Sorry.
All right, no worries. All right, I want to talk about this solar observatory now. That was a great question, and we'll answer the rest of it later. But this solar observatory thing really tripped everybody out because like all of a sudden, like a place where there's like a telescope gets like raided by the FBI, shut down.
I heard about this,
and nobody knew what was going on there. So all these theories started like popping up, and I went down the rabbit hole.
The reason, okay.
Right? They weren't saying anything; they were keeping it so hush hush.
Interesting.
So people were started like speculating, like, all right, it's a telescope that actually looks at the sun and takes pictures of the sun. So many people thought, like, holy shit, maybe they saw some unidentified object in front of the fucking sun or something, you know?
Or what if they like saw the sun exploding and they're like, everyone's gonna find out soon.
Or like Armageddon's coming, like the sun's gonna explode.
Minutes, though? Is that true? I've heard before, I don't know if that's just like kid rumors on the playground, but like, is it true that if the sun were to explode, we wouldn't feel it here on Earth for 8 minutes? That there's an 8-minute delay between like the feeling of the warmth of the sun on your skin and like when it's actually shining?
That sounds accurate, but I can't confirm that fact.
Yeah, so I guess that theory is ruled out because it would only take 8 minutes.
Well, yeah, and it's like it's not the only thing looking at. Like, if the sun was really about to blow, like, don't you think other telescopes around the world would pick it up, and satellites and everything else in space? Like,
but wouldn't other satellites have picked up something else in front of the sun or whatever the hell else.
Well, this does like
saying.
a special, like not all of them are looking right at the sun. Like this is focused straight on the sun all the time.
How do they even look in it?
I don't know.
Like
they have special lens that can retract or refract the light or something crazy.
Refract it.
Refract
that light.
Fuck that light. So that was one theory. Another one that I heard, some people were saying it could be like a geomagnetic storm, solar flares, things like that. Yeah. That could be, but it's like other things would see that.
Us to know.
And then one YouTuber I saw actually post a video, was like, I know what was going on, and he's like, the Chinese are spying on the White Sands missile range tests via antenna array at the observatory site. Which, is it possible? Sure. I mean, it's a logical possible situation, but would they really be like, why would they do that all of a sudden if they thought that was happening? Like, why would the FBI raid the thing during the day, get the whole media on it and everything, if it was like as something as crazy as Chinese spying it? It's reopened now. So basically what happened is that apparently one of the staff there found a janitor's computer, which actually FBI agents had tracked wireless signals to this laptop, which has been used to access child pornography.
Oh.
So yeah, so they are suspecting some type of weird thing going on there and raided it, but I don't know. It's just like, why would you be so, I guess it's an open investigation. They don't want to talk about it, so that would be why they wouldn't say anything. But that was the situation. How weird and random, right? Like,
that is really weird.
So obviously people are like, well, maybe that's just the cover story. Maybe there is actually something more going on at the observatory.
Could be.
I don't know.
I wonder what it would be, though.
I don't know. I just feel like, why this particular one? There's so many. Why this one?
Well, is it possible that it's just someone like that works there that's being investigated for something?
True. That too.
Okay.
For all we know, there could be like a serial killer working at this solar observatory, and they've been like hunting him for years or something. Like, who knows? I mean, fuck, who knows anymore? So I thought that was really interesting.
That is really interesting.
So another really interesting thing that is happening soon is literally like aliens are going to be a thing. They're going to be like a part of society, because SETI scientists spotted dozens of signals coming from an alien galaxy.
Because I know there's no way a lot of people know what that is.
It's the search for extraterrestrial and intelligent life. They're a scientific kind of organization that is sole purpose is to look for aliens.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
Search for extraterrestrial intelligence.
Yeah, exactly.
Was this what Stephen Hawking was part of before he passed?
No, he's a part of another a different group with Mark Zuckerberg. Right? Or maybe it is this one, actually.
Yeah, because it was like an alien group.
No, it's not this one.
Let me look it up.
Or yeah. No. So no. His organization that he was with is Breakthrough Listen. So that's the digital instrumentation that SETI was using, actually, when they spotted 72 mysterious signals from an alien galaxy using artificial intelligence, which was utilizing Stephen Hawking and Mark Zuckerberg's Breakthrough Listen's instrumentation. And they're coming from the signals they were examining were 400 terabytes of radio data from a dwarf galaxy 3 billion light years away from Earth.
Wow.
So way, like, on the other side of the fucking universe, even. Like, that's crazy. That if this is real, that we can pick up radio waves coming from a galaxy, 300 billion light years away? What the fuck?
Well, they must be sending out something strong. They must know how to send messages that are strong enough to be
obviously
picked up.
And this is just
so
this is
clearly they're more advanced than we are, because we couldn't send something out, could we?
No, we can't.
We could.
We can send out. We have sent out.
Well,
stuff.
We've sent out things, but that can
I don't know that
far.
I mean, how do we know? We've never got confirmation. Hey, hey, Earth, just letting you know, we received your signals from 100 years ago. They're here.
What if we got like an encrypted message that actually made sense and was like so weird?
These radio signals were coming in pulses, almost like Morse code type shit.
Oh my god!
Like literally, like what the fuck? And they observe. They literally. It gets even crazier. All right, so
that's so cool. Whoa!
And the reason why we were able to even detect this is because of artificial intelligence. We haven't been able to do this before, and this artificial intelligence they've built can analyze this data fast enough and figure out where these signals are coming from and stuff. It's crazy.
So that's going to be like the way that we connect with extraterrestrials. We have to be advanced enough to like be on their level. And right now our intelligence is our artificial intelligence is smarter than us and can communicate with them, but we can't.
Right. Well, I mean,
we can't receive the message just on our own.
Well, unless you're Dr. Greer, but I'm just saying like
unless you're Dr. Greer.
Hey, I'm just saying I'm making a point that I think it's yes and no, and actually have Dr. Greer's comment about this this discovery. But yeah, what was interesting though is that when they captured these FRBs, is what they're called, the signals are. It was within a short window of time that they got these 72 pulses. I think it was like a couple hours that they were doing this. And within those hours, as soon as they started like recording and like sort of reaching out, they got these. They came in all at like a specific time, all of a sudden, out of nowhere.
Oh, that's so weird. Oh my gosh.
So for all we know, this literally could be ET contact being made.
Wow.
And we just don't know what it means. Like we can't decipher what it means because
don't they know that we don't know how to decipher it?
No, I mean, if you have to think about this too, is like not every single alien being out there is going to be like 800 times smarter than us either.
Yeah.
You have to remember like the types of civilizations, they may only be one step up from us. That doesn't mean they're a fucking type 5 where they're literally like multi-dimensional nothingness, you know? So I mean, I don't know. I think we're going to see ET, official ET announcement soon is what I'm calling. I think in the next couple years, 10 years max.
I agree with that probably.
So
I can't wait for the day that we get to come on Mile Higher podcast and talk about that. The announcement of aliens.
So here's Dr. Stephen Greer's tweet about this finding. He said, "The tragedy here is that people still expect advanced civilizations to be as dysfunctional as ours, still using circa 1800s radio technologies. Hint, both classified human and ET civilizations have technologies undetectable by SETI, and they know it." Interesting. Which, I mean, I kind of agree. Like, I mean, that could be, you know, maybe they are sending these like radio signals, but, you know, the technology is already more advanced than that. And if it is some like distant 300 billion year away galaxy that's trying to communicate with us, think about all of the alien civilizations that are way closer to us that are probably already, you know, intermingling with the Earthlings. So, or communicating. Maybe there's just communication going on, which is possible.
That's definitely possible.
So I don't know. It's going to be interesting to see what happens with that going forward. But
yeah.
Today's podcast is actually sponsored by Quip, which we love Quip. We've been using them for a couple months now, and it's a great toothbrush. It's an electric toothbrush, and it's literally a fraction of, you know, bigger electric toothbrushes. It's got a built-in timer, which has been the most useful thing for me because before I feel like I either went way too long or way too short brushing. So it makes it super easy.
Mm-hmm.
And basically you buy the brush, you get it on a subscription plan, and they send you new brush heads on a dentist recommended schedule every 3 months for just $5, including free shipping worldwide, guys. This is a worldwide offer. Quip starts at just $25. And if you go to getquip.com/milehigher right now, you'll get your first refill pack free with a purchase of electric toothbrush. It's your first refill pack free at getquip.com/milehigher. GETQIP.com/milehigher. All right. Let's fucking talk about some hemp, some cannabis, some marijuana, because it's very interesting. This plant's going to blow your fucking minds because the cannabis plant is basically the scientific name for this particular species of plants, which I don't know about you, but I believe, and Kendall believes, that plants are honestly just as much a being as a animal is. Mm-hmm. And because if you just look at plants, watch them grow, you know, we have a lot of plants at our house, courtesy of Kendall.
Yeah, I have a super green thumb. I love my plants. And I really do think that they have like energy and like they're like little souls in a way.
They really are in a way.
Because they're living. They're alive.
They're clearly alive. I mean, they receive energy from the sun just like we do. I mean, they need water like we do. Like they're, other than the fact that they may not have the or artificial mental intelligence of us. Yeah. Doesn't mean they're not anymore real.
Yeah.
So that's why.
Plants can listen to music.
I bet they can.
They can. They like classical music. It's said that they really like classical music.
I really think classical music makes you smarter.
Yeah, they actually do say that, and then they say it helps chronic pain too. It says it helps a bunch of stuff.
It's soothing.
Yeah,
it's like getting an ear massage. Like,
depends on what it is. Some of it really annoys me.
Dun 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 dun.
But I do
some of the slow stuff is good.
Yes.
But anyway, the cannabis plant is the overall species, and hemp and marijuana are below it. We'll talk about the difference between them, but the plant as a total plant has 60,000 uses that we know of already. Yeah,
that's insane.
And, so many people have these negative connotations based probably upon how they were raised, what their parents have told them about cannabis as a whole. A lot of people don't know, including my parents, don't know the truth about
people
the
are
plant,
so uneducated
and they don't
about it.
care to want to learn about it, even though,
because they have this idea that it's a drug,
right?
And that's why I honestly I've been pretty quiet about my own use of it, because I just know there's people out there that think it's the equivalent of using heroin or something. They don't understand what marijuana is. They have no education on it. They, so they just think it's a drug.
Right.
They don't understand.
Well, it's because the government treats it as such. So that's what they preach. They preach it. Yeah. I mean, I see it everywhere. You see it on TV everywhere. I mean, they preach that it's an equivalent to cocaine and meth and all these other things that are, not even in the same realm together. So that's, I mean, it's like saying water only has one purpose.
Yeah. It's ridiculous.
Right? It is ridiculous. But the cannabis plant actually has 3 species. It's sativa, indica, and ruderalis.
I've never heard of that.
Yeah, I didn't know about that one. Yeah.
Ooh.
But obviously many are split into the sativa type and then into the industrial compound referred to as hemp. So hemp versus marijuana.
Let's explain the difference.
So the main thing is the psychoactive THC molecule, which is the one that when burned gets you
high.
When marijuana is burned, it gets you high.
So when I'm using CBD, it's not going to make me feel high, like you're sober.
Right.
It's just giving you the medical effects of it.
Right.
So when we say hemp, that's what we're referring to. Marijuana is going to give you a psychoactive feeling.
Right. And how would you describe the feeling is? I mean, it varies, but the overall feeling is just relaxed, and it kind of lets and the way that I can really explain it is it literally just kind of unlocks your brain and just allows it to just sort of chill.
It definitely makes you more open-minded.
Slow the thinking down a lot, allows you to,
think outside of the box.
Absolutely.
Critically think. Yeah, it definitely has
higher
so many
sense of
benefits.
Awareness internally. I mean, so many different mental effects, including literally feeling the stress on your back offloaded. Offload, completely offloaded.
Yep.
You don't worry about anything, and you don't. That's because you don't have anything to worry about.
And I mean, we can't say that effect happens for everyone, though. There are some people that don't react great with marijuana,
sure.
Your personal body. Sure. Some people get mad anxiety. It makes their anxiety worse, or they.
Again, these are our personal opinions, experiences. Doesn't mean that everybody's got the same experience. That's my disclaimer.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
But that's the thing is you should be able to use it if you need it, though. Why should, just because it's not great for everyone doesn't mean no one should have it. How ridiculous is that? It
is. So the main difference is the psychoactive part to it. But also marijuana is, if you've ever seen what the plants look like, marijuana versus hemp, the marijuana plant is the one with all the beautiful buds and flowers on them, which is the stuff that is actually harvested and then you end up smoking or making into concentrates, things like that, which contains the THC. Versus hemp doesn't have that, but it does have. It's a lot hardier of a plant. It's got the leaves that we all know what they look like, and it is sole purpose is for functionality of items that it can create and the medicinal part, because there's the CBD aspect to it, which the marijuana plant doesn't have. So it's really interesting that both species of it have that medicinal thing. So when you go back to the cannabis plant, you're like, holy fuck, like this is a great plant, like on both sides.
It is, like even the THC side. Even my grandfather just started using THC. He's always been a very like by the book type of guy, but he's had incredible pain. Like, you know, he's in his old age, and he can't sit down at all. He has to either be laying or standing at all times. So it's been horrible. And he tried CBD and it helped, but didn't help enough. So he went to a cannabis doctor and they told him to use THC with it because the THC helps the CBD work better and it has its own healing properties in itself.
It does.
And that's been helping, I guess.
Yep.
So,
well, that's the thing. And you know, I'm sure it's hard for some of you guys that don't live in, you know, only the 9 states or 6 states, or whatever, where it's legal.
Yeah.
To think about that. Yeah. Cause like for us, it's like not an issue, not even something to think about anymore.
Like, I don't even think some people understand. It is so normal here in Colorado. You see dispensaries literally everywhere. They're becoming just as common as liquor stores here. They're on every street. There's probably like 6 just within like 5 miles of our house or more. There's probably more. At
least 6, maybe 7.
Yeah. And we were just in literally the middle of nowhere last week. We were in Crestone, Colorado, like 5
Beautiful
hours
place, by
out.
the way. UFO
seriously
hotspot.
Gorgeous. Yes, we'll talk about all that later. But it's where the sand dunes is, and we were literally out in the middle of nowhere. This town has 143 fucking people in it.
Literally.
And they had 2 dispensaries there. 2 dispensaries.
No grocery store. No.
1 grocery store.
Or 1 grocery store, but
2 dispensaries though. Coloradans.
I didn't even think I saw a liquor store, actually. Maybe
I don't think
one.
I did.
Instead of a liquor store, they had a cannabis store, which is so much better.
Yes.
So much better.
As someone who's like come from a lot of alcoholism in my life and my family, I mean, marijuana is just...
You don't see that happening. You just don't see that.
You and I don't like smoke a joint and then fight.
Or get nasty, like, or, you know, just get sloppy. Like, that's the thing about it, is you don't ever get sloppy. I don't even
drink anymore. Like, literally pretty much giving it up.
Yeah, like here you go anywhere and, I mean, everybody's high. I mean, everybody's consuming marijuana for the most part. Trust me when I say it. Like, I go to the dispensary and I see people from other states in there who've never been to dispensaries before, and watching them, like,
I see grandmas in there all the time. It's always the old ladies. They love their cannabis, man.
People of all ages.
Okay, there?
Yes.
Choking.
It's just a different world here. So in other parts of the world, like UK, Australia, it's which I don't understand. Like, Australia, get your shit together. Get marijuana passed. Like, Canada's passing it. Canada's really leading the way now. I mean, they're passing it nationwide and going to give everybody access to cannabis that needs it or wants it. That's the thing, is like, it's again the same type of thing. We're not forcing it down everybody's throats. You do it if you want. If you don't want it.
New law, everyone's forced to smoke every day.
That'd be a good thing, honestly.
Maybe the world would start getting along better.
Seriously.
No, but it is the thing. No violence. Like, why can I, as a fucking human on this planet, not decide to take a plant out of the ground and smoke it and do whatever the fuck I want with it?
Seriously.
It makes me so annoyed that that's even able to be illegal. It's insanity.
It's wrong. It's completely
wrong. No
one's
died of it. No one has overdosed on marijuana. So who are these random government people to tell me whether or not I can use this for my pain? Like, I'm in my house every day dealing with this. You don't know. So to just like ban it completely is a conspiracy. There's a reason why, more than just concerns of safety. They're not concerned about our fucking safety. The government is currently
not at all.
Their involvement with just the drug trade and their involvement in the opioid crisis, their involvement in it is astounding. So for them to be so concerned about us smoking weed, oh my gosh, it's a gateway drug. It's
at least limit.
It's not.
At least do the same thing as pot and fucking limit the amount of alcohol people can buy.
Yeah, if they're gonna
give them a legal limit, just like they give me. Like, so if I go to the dispensary right now and I want some medical marijuana, I can only get 1 ounce per day, which 1 ounce is a good amount. And, you know, but it's not enough to kill me, not enough to make me sick. Nothing negative would come from it, even if I bought 10 ounces. But if I go to the liquor store, I can literally buy like 20 handles, go home and drink all of it and die.
Yeah.
And nobody does anything about it.
Yeah, they're not concerned about you drinking.
But if somebody did overdose on marijuana, they would fucking shut that shit down so fast if it was legal, like alcohol was.
Yeah.
They would shut it down.
Same thing with cigarettes. Same thing. Same thing with cigarettes, though. Like, that's killing people. Yeah. Why is that not banned? If they're so concerned with us, no one can make the argument against marijuana anymore without also being against alcohol and against cigarettes, because your logic makes no sense if you're okay with those things being legal and you're anti-marijuana being legal. Give me a good fucking reason for that. Can we make
a Venn diagram for cigarettes and marijuana? Because I want to see how fucking lopsided that would be.
Oh, it's crazy. I feel like any state where marijuana is illegal, alcohol should be illegal too.
Yeah, like
because it makes no sense. It's so much more of an issue. And then people bring up driving. Oh, people will be high and driving.
Please, somebody
drinking and
show
driving
me.
Now?
Yeah,
you're way more likely to get in an accident drunk and driving than being high and driving. Not that you should ever smoke high or drive high. We don't drive high, but chances are, if you were a high person versus a drunk person, if you
did a controlled experiment of this, what would be the results?
The drunk driver would get in an accident more, hands down.
Oh yeah,
I'm completely comfortable saying that. It's just like, it drives me insane sometimes that people really try to like argue against marijuana as some like bad drug. It's honestly kind of offensive, especially when it's been like such a huge part of my life and has helped me in so many ways. Like, my life and my anxiety have improved so much since I started using marijuana. When it became legal in Colorado, that's when I started.
Yeah.
And it's like just made me a way better person. It's made our relationship better. We fight way less. Just how it's helped me through this year, 2018, I've just been really chronically ill and struggling all the time. And I don't really know what I'd be doing without marijuana and CBD products.
Same with
and cannabis.
Millions of other people out there with chronic illnesses and cancer and everything else. I mean, I worked with a guy a couple of years ago, and he was a good friend of mine, very inspiring guy, but he had cancer, and I don't know, from what he told me at the time, like, I think he felt like he was still alive because he consumed, as much cannabis as he did, and just to help with chemotherapy, and it's just like the side effects with that, the nausea, like that's a huge thing with marijuana.
Helps
and THC
with nausea big time. I haven't been struggling with nausea as much lately, but like in the springtime, for some reason, I was waking up almost every morning and throwing up and getting so nauseous, and if I smoked, completely gone immediately.
Yeah.
Like, it's amazing.
And it fucking makes you hungry too. If you don't have an appetite, or you're struggling with,
It helped my sister through her eating disorder big time. My sister was
definitely
in rehab for her anorexia, and using marijuana afterwards to help her eat was a huge thing.
Yeah, that's the only negative for me I've found from it, is just I eat too many snacks. So but so back to hemp versus marijuana, though. The other difference I wanted to present was that in order for hemp to be basically sold and CBD extracted from it, it has to contain 0.3% or less of THC. So there's no THC in CBD hemp products. So there's none of the psychoactive compounds.
So that's how you're able to buy this stuff legally in all 50 states
and around
the world.
Check your local laws.
So even if it's not legal in your state, you guys can still get access to CBD.
But CBD, and that's the thing, is like, do you need to be high? No, absolutely not. You don't need to be high. You can take this and still reap all the benefits of CBD, of this medicinal plant. And the nice thing about this, guys, is that like you can use this at work. Obviously I wouldn't use it like in front of your boss or something, but if you're
because they may not understand.
Don't like pull out your CBD vape and like.
But you're going to be able to work.
But you're going to be able to work. Yeah. It's not going to affect you. It's not going to.
That's why I love CBD, because like I can't work and be high. I can't like use marijuana.
Neither can I. I can't. Chill time is when I do that. But
yeah. So this helps a lot to just at least get you through like working.
Yeah. Or just take some of that stress and anxiety off.
It's better than Advil's ever going to.
Oh yeah. So that's the main thing. And marijuana contains 15 to 24% of THC on average is where it's at, which doesn't necessarily have any actual effect on how high you get depending on the percentage of it. Actually, that's a kind of a myth, but there's all these, that's a cool thing about it too, is there is all these different strains, both on the hemp side and on the marijuana side, so that they're starting to be able to like genetically cross different types of strains to create specific medicinal effects. And it's only going to get better and better. So eventually, like, there might be a type of hemp or cannabis that is specific for that illness or for that particular symptom, like a migraine formula, a seizure formula. I mean, that's why we need to be putting dollars and research into
just
this
like
plant.
How much it helps so many people out there with seizures. It's huge.
It's amazing to see what it does for people with that, or people that have Parkinson's, or people that have CTE,
which is
don't even get me started about that. The fucking NFL does not let players use medical marijuana.
Even the CBD?
I think they let them use CBD because it's not THC.
Well, that's ridiculous still.
But really, like,
these
guys that
like
smash
so
their heads
up
on the field every week.
Oh, it's so bad.
They can't smoke marijuana. Like, seriously, they're making you millions. It's sick, honestly.
There's a show on Viceland called Weedakit, and it's really interesting. It talks a lot more about the medical side of things and like the different ways people are using it, and it just gives you a really eye-opening look into like how this stuff is changing people's lives.
Yeah.
It's their medicine. It's their like will to keep going. So to ban it is just so cruel.
Yeah. And I think there was a Vice episode we watched where, they even went and visited with people who are doing it in like Kansas or something, and they go across Colorado to get it, and then they come back home, but they have to like worry about being raided because they have CBD, or not CBD, sorry. They have THC oil or cannabis oil in their house, or have flower or whatever, because they need that.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
And it's
like you go over an invisible line and all of a sudden you're not going to get locked up, but on the other side you will.
Yeah, like sometimes I tell Josh, like, I can't believe how I'm able to use this in as much as I want of it and as much as I need. And there are people that can't even get it. Like, that's so unfair.
Yeah.
Or worse, there are people that are doing time for having it. There are people that are serving huge sentences.
Life sentences.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure there's at least
really
one
sick.
There's at least a couple people that have served
really
life in prison for distribution or, growing marijuana.
That's so
which is just
wrong.
It's a plant. It's a fucking plant. It's absolutely insane. But let's talk about hemp now. Hemp is something that a lot of people don't really know about and don't know literally how useful this fucking thing is. I mean,
it's not just like a good moisturizer.
Yeah, it's not like the hemp lotion. That is good shit, though.
Yeah, that is good shit.
We do love our hemp lotion. But hemp oil is used for cooking and converting to fuel, which is amazing. Yeah. Which that's another difference too. There's the CBD oil, which is what we have here, the hemp balm CBD oil, 4,000 milligrams. This is like very, very potent stuff. Which, when I say potent, don't take that negatively. Take that positively, as this is for people that do have severe pain, anxiety, joint and muscle issues. So, yeah. So, yeah, I was going to say, take some of that, definitely. Here's another thing that's interesting. But this hemp seeds are one of the most nutritional seeds on the planet. They supply nearly every mineral and vitamin the body needs.
It's literally like a superfood.
It's a super fucking...
What a joke that there's people that seriously have been fooled into thinking this is some type of horrible drug.
Dude, they literally marketed this shit in the early 1900s as making men angry to want to beat their women.
That's the farthest thing from the truth ever.
I'm just like, what? I don't even want to beat my... I don't want to beat
Alcohol
anything.
does that. Alcohol does that.
Yeah, exactly. They literally took what should have been an alcohol ad and flipped it.
They're like, oh, but drink this stuff.
Yeah.
You drunk, but you could die from it. You can die from this, and you can die from cigarettes, but this stuff you can't die from, but we're just not going to let you have it because it's so dangerous.
Come on, man. Come on.
I just feel like we've just been getting fooled.
Oh, we've been getting
finally waking up
played like a fiddle for the past 100 years.
This is not good.
Dude, it gets even crazier though. So hemp can also be used for clothing, and it only requires half the amount of water as normal cotton to be made into fiber. And it doesn't require chemicals or fertilizers versus it's
better than cotton.
It's better than cotton. So the main thing with hemp is that it is extremely environmentally friendly. That is the main thing about it, because it is so clean. It's literally clean energy that we are ignoring.
Yeah.
And not only that,
well, why do you think?
Right.
They don't want clean energy.
No, that's the thing, is it's all, again, it goes back to that we are like controlled by the corporations of the world. Like, that's just the bottom line.
They don't want us to stop using oil and stuff. They want us to keep
paying for cotton, fucking stupid cotton. Hemp can also be used as housing insulation, fiber boards, and it's an excellent phytoremediation, which is a plant that can remove toxins, radiation, and contamination from the water and soil. Get the fuck out of here. This shit is crazy. It can literally remove toxins, radiation. So if we ever get hit by a nuke, we got to grow hemp everywhere.
It sounds like it's the most important plant on the face of the fucking planet, and it's banned.
Not only that,
how do you like that?
Dude, this is crazy. It was used in the agricultural fields around the Chernobyl nuclear disaster site in order to help remove the heavy metals and radiation from the unusable land. And after it does its job, you can fucking grind it up and make biodiesel.
Yeah, it's amazing. It's like truly a super plant.
Yeah. There's a superfoods or whatever. This is fucking super plant. It's a super plant.
Super plant.
According to a study conducted in 1916, it is believed that 1 acre of hemp over the course of 20 years can produce 4 to 10 times the amount of paper than trees. Meanwhile, billions of motherfucking trees, rainforests are being cut down for paper. Still. Why are we still using fucking paper? Seriously, though. Why?
Because people have no idea that there's an alternative, because we don't even talk about this.
I mean, we don't need paper, first of all. We live in electronics, technology society now.
For real. Let's get rid of paper.
But seriously, we can grow way less hemp, make all the paper we need, and save the fucking rainforest. These poor gorillas that are getting their habitats stolen from them because we're cutting down their trees. Same with all the other Amazon animals and stuff. Like, what the fuck are we doing? It's literally destroying the planet. So that is, I think, a great reason we should fucking ditch paper. Let's just ditch at least tree paper and move to hemp, because that is fucking bananas. I don't know why I just said bananas, but all right. CBD. Let's talk about CBD specifically. So within the cannabis plant, there are many different cannabinoids. Cannabinoids are compounds that make up the cannabis plant, and they all have various effects. Although there are at least 113 different cannabinoids in cannabis, the two main most well-known are THC and CBD, which we talked about THC a bit. So let's talk about CBD. So CBD, like we said, is not psychoactive cannabinoid, so it doesn't give you any sort of high. And its primary purpose is for all the medicinal properties that it has, from sickness to chronic pain, as Kendall talked about, PTSD, depression even, and so many more things. So where did hemp come from? When did we start using it? Well, first of all, the cannabis plant has been around for probably since the beginning of this fucking planet. Actually, I almost feel like I know that, because we knew that it was around at least millions of years ago with the dinosaurs. History has showed that humans have been using the hemp plant for centuries. In 1200 BC, the ancient Egyptians were using hemp to help build their fucking pyramids. Of course, the Egyptians
does not shock me.
Of course, of course they were. Like, is this even a question anymore? All of the ancient civilizations, I guarantee you, were using cannabis.
Yeah,
100%.
Because why? What would their reasoning be to ban it?
If you
they knew it wasn't dangerous, they knew it was helpful. So why would they have banned it? That is such modern day bullshit.
But this helps me. Too bad.
What on earth?
No, in 800 BC, the first cloth fabric was made from hemp in China. In 1425 AD, this is medieval times, people were drinking hemp beer. In 1492, fucking Columbus made his sails on a ship out of hemp. Even the Declaration of Independence was signed in 1776, was drafted on paper made out of hemp. Come on. What the hell?
Ridiculous.
In 1889, famous artist Vincent van Gogh used hemp canvases to paint his art. But over the years, hemp and marijuana and cannabis started getting a bad reputation because people became misinformed. Because I think what it comes down to is back in the early 1900s and stuff, it was very easy to control what people saw, heard. It was very easy to create what the truth or this illusion of the truth were.
People only see so much stuff.
Right. They didn't have the freedom of information like we have now. So that's when this wonderful act called the Marijuana Act of 1937 was put into place. And it basically put a tax on the sale of cannabis. And the hemp industry took a large hit because of this. People were much more hesitant to grow the plant and production went down quite a bit. And there's more to this conspiracy, which we'll talk about in a little bit later. But for several years later, once America became involved in World War II, the government needed hemp to create various products for the war. So the Marijuana Tax Act of 1937 was briefly lifted. The U.S. government actually even made a short film that was released in 1942 called Hemp for Victory. What the hell? Of course they did. That was to help encourage farmers to start growing hemp for the war because other industrial materials were often imported overseas and were in short supply. Wow. What do you know? But of course, the government tried to deny that they ever made the film. And before 1989, the film was relatively unknown.
Interesting.
The United States government denied ever having such a film. The United States Department of Agricultural Library and the Library of Congress told all interested parties that no such movie was made by the USDA or any branch of the U.S. government. So they're just saying, oh yeah, that didn't exist.
What?
I don't know what you're talking about. We didn't ever ask for hemp again. Please, come on. How dumb do they think we are?
That is seriously so bizarre.
It was even discovered that the Pentagon was built on land where hemp was grown for the government. The hypocrisy with the government is just mind-boggling, especially back in the 1900s.
Wow.
The transparency was not there.
Oh my God.
But after the war, when hemp was no longer needed, the Air Force and Marines were ordered to destroy all remaining hemp crops. Why? Why just destroy it?
Because maybe they're worried that opening the door to hemp opens up the door to marijuana, which could open up the door to mushrooms or
to the rest of the mind-opening drugs.
Right. Yeah. That's what it seems like.
I mean, that's the only thing.
Their biggest threat is people opening their minds.
Because, I mean, they try to say it's because of money. It's too costly, blah, blah, blah. Which it is costlier, but that's only because these corporations and companies and government have already invested in this other method of doing things. That's the only reason.
Yeah, if they mass produced it, it wouldn't be as
if they had followed what the founding fathers had said and continued hemp.
Yeah, it'd be way different.
Be a different story today. But that's because of this wonderful man named President Nixon. Because in 1970, he introduced the fucking worst bill of all time, the Controlled Substance Act, which stopped the production of all cannabis growing, even
war on drugs,
non-psychoactive hemp. So this is obviously when the fucking war on drugs began and is still ongoing to this day, almost 50 years later.
Crazy.
But basically this bill organized a bunch of different drugs into 5 different categories or schedules. Schedule 1 being the most dangerous. And their reasoning for this little scale they built was that Schedule 1 substances are described as those drug having a high potential for abuse, has no currently accepted medical use, there is a lack of accepted safety for the use of the drug. And guess what's a Schedule 1 drug?
What?
Marijuana.
Shocker.
DMT, LSD, MDA, peyote, heroin.
Peyote is the cactus, right?
Mm-hmm.
Another plant.
Methamphetamine, guys. Meth isn't even a Schedule 1 drug. Neither is narcotics or opioid pills, which is literally killing people in massive numbers across the world. I think most of them are Schedule 5. So basically all the natural shit that has not had any deaths really related with overdoses is most dangerous drug. According to the classification, the DEA is given it, or the government, and all of the pharmaceutical stuff is supposed to be safe and healthy and way better for you than this natural stuff.
That is like a bold-faced lie.
I mean, that's just straight up bullshit. So like, for example, hemp bombs. They are out of Florida and they can't grow hemp there, so they have to import the hemp from Europe, which is actually very high quality stuff over there. But they can't even grow it in Florida, which Florida should be fucking covered in hemp. Like, that is the most fertile place in the United States. Like, the fact that they can't even grow their own hemp there is crazy.
Yeah, that's insane.
The U.S. actually imports millions of dollars of hemp every year. It's the world's largest importer of industrial hemp. The leading producer of hemp is France, actually. 70% of the world output. I'm pretty sure that's where they get theirs. So, and over 30 countries grow their own hemp around the world, which 30 out of like, what, couple hundred? Like, what the hell? It's barely any.
That is barely any.
So the good thing, though, is that because, honestly, of, the Obama presidency and some of the things that got passed there, we got the 2014 Farm Bill, which basically allowed hemp to be legally planted on American soil again. So some of it is being grown here in the U.S. again, which is good, and hopefully will continue.
And it's becoming more and more common in like products, I feel like.
Mm-hmm.
I've been seeing so many more hemp products. Just the skincare company I use, Origins, is releasing a cannabis mask to Sephora on October 5th.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Pretty
cool.
Yeah,
that's cool. I mean, obviously states where like marijuana is legal, hemp is legal as well most of the time. So like Colorado, oh my God, I was about to say California. California. Oh, Jesus. But there's more like, more and more companies that utilize hemp or CBD popping up, which is great. This is fucking great. The national hemp market is currently valued at $688 million, but the prohibition on commercial cultivation requires that nearly all hemp used for products is imported, other than those that can grow it themselves. So there's a Industrial Hemp Farming Act, which is a bipartisan bill that would make the growing and processing of hemp legal for all farmers in the U.S. Was introduced in the House Senate in 2015. This would really get things going if it was passed, but unfortunately it hasn't been passed yet. And for those of you that didn't know, Colorado is the first state to have cannabis legal in 2013. That's when that happened. 55 voted yes, 44 voted no, which if you look at the polls now, it's way more. I think it's more around like 60% that say yes for marijuana being passed for legalization. I mean, if Canada does it, like a whole country just like does it in one fell swoop, like what are we waiting for?
Seriously, though, like it's only a matter of time.
The cannabis and hemp industry is going to be a multi-billion-dollar industry. I mean, it could potentially be even far bigger than the alcohol industry ever was or ever.
It's been huge in Colorado.
Like, it has.
Our economy is just like booming.
Yeah, our friend John, he works for a local company that makes Keef Cola, which is a cannabis drink. It's soda infused with cannabis oil. Mm-hmm. It's really good. And he tells, he's their accountant. So he's like,
he knows they're doing good.
But that's like a normal thing. And like, it's a normal job here. There's no stigma about it. The cops aren't weird about it and treat you like you're a drug addict or something. Like I've seen some people get treated, but I think things are moving in the right direction, which is good. I think we're going to see things speed up hopefully soon, because this ban is just insane, especially on hemp and CBD. All right, so let's talk a little bit about like why did it ever get banned in the first place? What's the deal with that? What happened? So this is where this is where you get your tinfoil hats out a little bit, kind of tune them up a little bit. Mine. Fuck. It's all right. We'll use our mental ones.
Okay.
So in the early 1900s, companies like DuPont, which we talked about the DuPont family in another episode. If you haven't seen it, highly recommend it because this will make a lot of sense. So the DuPont family, huge chemical, cotton, they make basically all the stuff that hemp can make, except they make it with harmful chemicals and fertilizers and everything else, and herbicides, and they process paper. But they had basically a complete control over the cotton industry, which cotton is used in everything. So while this is going on, a businessman, William Randolph Hearst, invested in timber and mills to produce the paper for his newspaper, which is the largest chain in the U.S. at the time. His investments in the timber industry were backed by Mellon Bank. The U.S. Secretary of Treasury at the time was Andrew Mellon, who happened to own Mellon Bank and was also one of the backers for the DuPont family. Funny how the banks and these families were so intertwined.
Yeah.
In every fucking industry. Mellon's niece was married to a guy named Harry Anslinger. He was out of a job after the alcohol prohibition ended to keep his family
Some
employed.
people think it's mean that I always like mock you.
No,
when
it's
you
good.
Say
it's
a
good.
funny word. I just do that to everyone. I think it's hilarious because I do it all the time.
That's fine. It's fine. It doesn't hurt my feelings.
I know. I know it doesn't. It hurts your feelings.
No.
All the time.
It's fine.
Well, people comment and they're like, "Poor Josh, Kendall's so mean."
No, it's fine. It's fine. So Milan, I think it might be Milan. I'm maybe pronouncing it, but Milan created a new division of federal government, the Bureau of Narcotics, and then made Harry Anslinger the new head of that program. Also during this time, machinery was being developed to make hemp processing easier and more efficient. What do you know? And this was a threat to paper, chemical, timber, and petroleum industries. Pharmaceutical companies were creating new medicines and drugs and were also threatened by the natural healing properties of the cannabis plant. So this is, according to some people, a conspiracy, but to me, this is basically truth, that the conspiracies that these corporations that were already sort of developed were feeling threatened by the hemp industry and realizing that all of these businesses were going to be way less successful if hemp came on and was a powerhouse. Like, that was the thing, is because they would have, imagine if we had figured out CBD 100 years ago.
Yeah.
How much better a lot of people's lives would be.
Oh, yeah.
And, if people had, they had put the time and research over the years to make it even better than it is today.
Yeah, the products would be even better.
It'd be way better today.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
There may not even be a need for things like aspirin, Advil, ibuprofen.
Yeah.
We may not need things like pain relievers.
Shit doesn't work for me either anyway. The only thing that it does for me is when I get random fevers. That's been the weirdest thing. I get these like random fevers and Advil like takes down the fever. But everything else, CBD works better.
So that's the thing, is I think that they felt threatened. I feel like the DuPont family had a hand at this and realized like, hey, we got to figure out a way to get this shit banned. Like, we got to figure out some way that this is not, because they're not dumb. They probably saw like, this shit is real, man. This shit could take us over. Well,
yeah. I mean, the way that you control people is by having things that they need from you.
Mm-hmm.
And when they don't need you anymore, when hemp, you can grow it in your own house and produce everything
you don't need to go to Walgreens and
you don't need your
or your drugstore, as some pharmacy.
Or this said fuel. What if we didn't need gasoline anymore?
Mm-hmm.
There's so many things that it could help with. The paper. They don't want to help our situation.
No, I think that's the real true reason. There's other things that people think might have played into it, which is that Harry Anslinger, the new head of the Bureau of Narcotics, started looking into rumors of the Mexican population smoking flowers in the hemp plant. And because at this time racism was very rampant at this point, Anslinger fed off that the Mexican used the slang word marijuana in place of the word hemp. And so, again, this is conspiracy, but he spread lies and rumors about blacks and Mexicans becoming violent while smoking it and also labeled it as a narcotic. Hearst newspapers then spread the slander and propagated stories about evil marijuana and of people committing rapes and murder while under the influence of marijuana. And this, of course, had their papers going crazy, but they failed to mention every positive benefit that the hemp marijuana plant. So it was literally founded on a lie. Like, this ban is completely founded on bullshit and lies and deceit. So that's when, the Tax Act of 1937 basically turned this into, or turned this racist campaign into a fight against marijuana. Because the crazy thing is, like, for us, especially here in Colorado, is like the fact that people are getting arrested for, marijuana. And honestly, if you had hemp, if you had like a hemp plant with you walking around, a cop would probably arrest you for that too, because he wouldn't know that that's not, THC.
Yeah, right.
So that's the crazy thing about it, is like, it doesn't matter any one of these plants, if you're like, running around with large quantities of it, they're going to think that you're, drug dealing or something. But in over 90%, 96% of counties with more than 30,000 people, in which at least 2% of the residents are black, blacks are up to 4 times more likely to be arrested for marijuana possession than white people. I think they're just more likely to be arrested than white people, period. Like, I think that's just the truth there, which is extremely unfortunate. And, you know, goes back to our podcast about the criminal justice system and how fucked it is. So, yeah, unfortunately, you know, I think people just in general get arrested far too often for marijuana than needed. I mean, you shouldn't be arrested at all. 52% of all drug arrests in 2010 were for marijuana. Over 7 million people were busted for having cannabis from 2001 to 2010. In 2010, cops made an arrest every 37 seconds. That's crazy. And the states waste $3.7 billion enforcing cannabis laws every year. $4 billion. Instead of taking care of the homeless or something, you know, healthcare, like something useful, it's used to like break down people's doors and arrest people for cannabis.
Well, they make money off of having these people in prison.
Well, yeah, absolutely. And it gives the, you know.
Didn't we say this last time, but 90% of the like people in jail are in there for marijuana?
Is it?
It was really high.
I don't know if it was 90.
I know. I'm like, that sounds really high.
That's really high.
I remember hearing that though. I don't know.
I just don't understand. I mean, at the end of the day, you have to look at it like nobody's ever overdosed and died on marijuana. So why the hell is it like you can overdose and die on pretty much everything else but this plant, and yet it's still illegal. So for those that are like, well, maybe you can, and well, if in order to die from using cannabis, you'd have to smoke 20 to 40,000 times the amount of THC in a joint in order to even be at a risk.
Yeah.
Which, come on,
that'd
guys.
be very impossible.
Even Snoop Dogg ain't smoking that much.
Yeah, Willie Nelson has.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, seriously, it's unreal. So here's some other medical benefits of cannabis and THC and CBD that you may not have known about before, but it can slow and stop cancer cells from spreading. It was actually found in a study that the cannabidiol has the ability to stop cancer by turning off a gene called ID1. In 2007, researchers at California Pacific Medical Center in San Francisco reported that CBD may prevent cancer from spreading. It's just like, what? There's crazy. Actual published studies, medical studies coming out saying that CBD can literally... So, you know, if there's anyone out there that's got, you know, has cancer, I highly recommend you at least give CBD a try. Because if you can,
CBD. I
mean, just from that study, I would do it. I would at least use CBD if it can really help that. Mm-hmm. It can prevent Alzheimer's, which is very good to know. THC, the active ingredient present in marijuana, slows the progression of Alzheimer's disease. Glaucoma, relieves arthritis, pain and inflammation, helps you get better sleep, can ease the pain of multiple sclerosis. There's actually an oral spray called Sativex, which is a combination of THC and CBD, which is over in Europe and in several countries. That's like a prescription to treat pain related to multiple sclerosis. Help with Crohn's disease, anxiety, helps reverse the carcinogenic effects of tobacco and improve lung health.
Know.
That's what a lot of people say. Well, won't smoking make your lungs? Like, that's my mom's thing, has always been like, it's bad for your lungs. Here's a true fact, guys. You know, I have been using cannabis for a while now, and I went to my doctor last year and I did one of those like asthma tests, the breathing test at how much air is going in and out. And I was fine. I was 100% fine. And I told him that, you know, he was cannabis and stuff. And he's like, oh, well, that could be a concern. Actually, he didn't even say that.
Some people do have like issues with it on the breathing end, or like have bad reactions if they smoke too much, or some people just whatever. So it's just about getting it in a different method.
That's true. Yeah. No, you're absolutely right. No,
but it's not going to make your lungs bad.
It's not going to like do this. Right. You know, everybody's seen
I'm trying to get my mom. My mom smokes cigarettes, and I love my mom, obviously, and I want her to stop. And so I've been trying to get her to consider trying marijuana instead, because especially if that's going to help clear up her lungs, you know. So
yeah, I mean, anybody that's addicted to nicotine, especially those that, you know, like vape nicotine or something, the CBD juice can really help you kind of wean off of it.
Yeah.
It kind of gives you, I mean, obviously it's not nicotine, but it does give you a lot of relief, you know, if you use it for stress and anxiety and things like that. That's what I use it for. I love it quite a bit. But there's just so many different benefits. It can improve your skin health, helps reduce the risk for heart disease. Studies have shown that giving hemp seed oil to people with eczema may improve blood levels of essential fatty acids. It can be used for soap, which is much better. So the CBD industry specifically is ahead of the marijuana industry and THC and everything, which sucks, but it's good that at least CBD is starting to, you know, get more popular again. I mean, that's why we talk about it, is because it needs to be talked about. You don't hear, why isn't there fucking CBD commercials on TV, or why isn't
because there's
CNN
a stigma and major miscommunication, miseducation, fake news about marijuana and CBD.
100%. 100%. I mean, it's mind-boggling.
Yeah.
I mean, we just listed just some of the benefits and medical benefits to it. There's so many more, and there's probably so many different things that we haven't figured out yet. That's the thing, is that we haven't researched this like at all, like barely any research. I mean, obviously enough research to figure out that it's, you know, a medicine and it's safe and everything else, but not into like new ways to extract it or use it in different methods. Who knows what it could be used for? It could literally be like,
or trying it with different things. It could be an ingredient to something really important. Who knows? Mass amounts of it could cure cancer. I mean, we really are not doing enough research on it. It's very disappointing, and I think if people knew the truth about it and how much it can do further than just a plant that gets you high.
Yeah.
Oh, you know,
if you think it's just that, then you don't know anything. Well, that's the problem, is many
of the people that would argue with us about this or try to, you know, they don't know anything about it.
Right. No.
So they all they hear is gateway drug or this or that, like
gateway drug. Stupid. Get the fuck out of here.
Yeah, talk about gateway drug. I've said this before, but I have, you know, family members who have been on serious opioid addiction, and I know that if they had access to CBD and marijuana, that would have helped them a lot to not have started that in the first place, because they went to it as a like self-medicating for like mental issues,
right?
And anger and all types of things. And if they were able to use
cannabis was legal, if it was readily available,
serious anxiety,
people will go to that first. I'm telling you, they're going to go with what's safe first before they have to jump to big stuff. And obviously we're not saying that, you know, everybody that's done marijuana has never done other drugs. That's just false. But
and obviously some people end up going too far with it or go the next step because it's not enough, but they're self-medicating for something
that's a personal problem. That's not the drugs problem. That's the personal problem that is causing them to be like, this isn't enough. I need more.
Right. And I've been using it for years, and I've never been like, oh, I need more. I need something different, you know?
No, I know. I mean, it's just baffling. And I mean, it's great that this is moving in the right direction.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be.
But there's more and more companies that are coming out that have this stuff available. It's available in all 50 states. That's really important. And around the world, that's awesome.
No, seriously, it is. And I think with Canada legalizing things, and I think we'll be behind it. And I think as soon as the U.S., I think a lot of countries, like government-wise, follow the U.S.'s lead. Mm-hmm. I think if they see the U.S. legalizing recreational marijuana nationwide, I think we'll start seeing like the U.K. and things like that. It'll start happening everywhere. And I think if you think how it will affect society, I think it's going to affect society positively, 100%. I don't think there's really any negatives you can draw from it. I mean, there really isn't anything, honestly.
Mm-mm.
I think what it'll do is I think it'll make people less angry. It'll make people less in less pain. It'll literally in pain. I think it will just, you know, Kendall and I truly believe that it is a mind-opening substance that allows you to just think deeper. I know for me personally,
it's changed my life. I
changed
know for
my
me,
life
I
mentally.
Can say that.
Absolutely.
Marijuana has changed my life in ways that I never knew.
See the world differently, honestly. Just and it's not like it's like this magical thing where you like smoke a little pot and then you're like, oh, I figured out everything, you know.
No, but it definitely starts to
portray
slowly like open your mind, and you just really can think and see things sometimes more clearly. I almost feel more clear.
Clarity, absolutely. Awareness.
Yep.
Your awareness is higher. You think about other things besides yourself more.
Sometimes I can be like wicked creative too. Like,
yeah,
with
that's
the right
the thing.
strain.
Absolutely.
It can help me during editing or something. So
yeah, because
pretty amazing stuff.
Yeah, there's the sativa indica. Indica is great for sleep, and sativa is great for sort of daytime. It's like, so it's just the fact that it is too perfect and it has all these uses and benefits and medicinal properties. Just like, what the fuck are we doing? What are we doing? But the good news is that there's going to be a 700% growth projected in the next year of the CBD industry alone.
Wow.
42% of CBD users stop taking traditional medications. And if you can find a good, set of products, which, honestly, these are a great set, and they have different things for different times and different purposes. Even pet oil, which is very beneficial.
And one of their products I've been using for a really long time is
the pain freeze.
The pain freeze. Yeah. It's just so good. It has obviously CBD in it too, but it's like it's that kind of like freezing feeling, like
it's almost like an icy hot without the hot. Yeah.
And I love that. That's what really helps me. So Josh puts that on my back all the time. I've gone through 3 containers of it. So I really do love these products, and 20% off is really generous of them.
Really is. Absolutely.
So definitely take advantage of that. Code is
worldwide shipping. Yeah. Get it anywhere pretty much. So we highly recommend it. But yeah, thanks guys for
hempbombs.com
for joining us for episode 35 of the Mile Higher Podcast. Hopefully you learned something about cannabis, about hemp, about marijuana. We wanted this to be really informational mostly because all the fucking false information out there and rumors and lies and things that get spread around this magnificent plant, which if you've never seen the marijuana plant in person, the day that you see it, I promise you will be a magical one. Like, I have a friend who actually grows marijuana in his house, and he showed me his setup, which it's illegal to do that. Actually, you can have several plants in Colorado in your house, and you could grow your own, which is probably so rewarding. But when I saw it for the first time, I literally was like, this is some type of alien being. I know that sounds fucking stupid, but it literally was this beautiful creature I felt like I was seeing. Like, it had its own aura to it. It's beautiful with all the little terpenes, and on the flowers, they have like little crystals on it. Like, it's beautiful.
It is a really beautiful
plant. And
especially under a microscope.
And some people don't like the skunky smell or whatever. I personally don't think it's skunky, and you honestly get used to it.
Yeah, I actually like the smell of it.
But I
used to
love
hate it when I was a kid.
Yeah, well, it's just unknown to you. You don't know what it is, but once you do, you're like, oh, okay, it's not so bad. So it's an amazing plant, a miracle plant, magical plant. So we hope you enjoyed this episode.
Yes, and we just wanted to apologize again for the episode being late. And I'm not sure what's going on with me. I just want to tell you guys, for anyone who doesn't know, I'm not sure if it's Josh and I think it could be fibromyalgia. It could be something called Cushing syndrome. It could really be anything. We're still in the...
As far as your pain,
my pain, these random fevers, chronic fatigue, high blood pressure, goes on. And I just want you guys to know that, like, Josh and I love this. I never skip something just because I don't want to do it. I just don't want to, like even right now, I'm in so much pain right now. I just cannot wait to lay down in an ice pack because it just hurts so bad. And I don't want to be rushing through because I'm in pain. So that's why I sometimes make the decision to skip. And I can't say that it won't ever happen again either.
Yeah, quality
but
over
we're
quantity.
Always going to try. And if we don't get it up on Monday, Tuesday is good too.
We'll get it up.
So.
We'll get it up there at some point. So we've got so many exciting things coming, guys. You guys, if you are not subscribed to the YouTube channel or on iTunes, please do, because it's only getting higher and higher from here. And I mean that in all senses of the word. We got a new studio that hopefully will be in there in the next couple of weeks, which will be awesome. Can't wait for you guys to see that. Guests, we're hoping to get at least a few guests on before the end of the year. That's my goal. Some interesting guests from whether it's true crime or...
and don't forget, you guys, October 1st is our merch shop launch date.
Yes. Make sure you check out Mile Higher merch.
Which is next Monday.
Which I guess you can't really check it out right now, so don't go there yet.
But just get ready. You can go to it, though, because you can put your email in the website,
and we'll tell you once it's open, so you can be one of the first ones.
It's
really cool though. I worked really hard on it. Can't wait to see what you guys think about it. I've got some really cool designs which we'll be showing on here so you guys can actually see what we got. But yeah, thanks again for listening, for watching. If you enjoyed it, rate and review, thumbs up. But yeah, guys, we'll catch you guys next time. Thanks for joining us.
Bye.
I can't listen to any more of this.